What's going on, everybody? Uh-oh. We're a black screen. There it is. What's going on, all? The gold percent from reset actually works? Oh, yeah, it works. It's just it's 5% each time, so you just don't notice it. You don't notice it, like, per reset, but after you're done, you'll be like, oh, okay. This guy got 80k and I've got 150k, you know? Like I average probably 250,000 gold a map at 42 resets. Anyway, gonna do just a little grinding today. So feel free to hop in and join me. I'm on US West. I'm in the Steam group. You can join me through the Steam group or just look for the games. I kind of want to get some parity stuff today. I don't want to grind nothing but pirate maps, but I do kind of want some pirate loot. I want to find some mods and get ready for next week. Next week, of course, we get a different weapon rotation on the new map. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping, I mean, for me, like a perfect world situation, next week would be Monk EV2. If that was the case, I would be just amazingly stoked. There's like a prestige system now, Knight, called Ancient Power, and you can go and do Ancient Power resets. Yeah, PDT poison damage. As far as I know, I haven't checked that, to be honest with you. I don't use poison mods on, or I don't use the anti mods on PDTs personally. So I've never actually checked it, but I'm assuming it would. Be easy to check. Just look at what the poison damage says on the tooltip and then look what it's ticking for on mobs. Oh, it's, I mean, as far as just the normal gameplay, it's got a great experience. I mean, you can play through just the campaign in the game 100% free to play, and it would be well worth your time, and you would never spent a penny. What's going on there, Matthias? You know, so as far as like the core game experience, I mean, DD2 is a great game. And it does have bugs. You know, there's no doubt about it. But I tell you, the more I branch out and play other stuff, the more I'm realizing it's not that bad compared to what's out there. The bugs in DD2 are not like, doesn't make you want to just throw the game out, you know. People complain about them, but we all want it perfect, and that's understandable. I want it perfect too, you know. You can't find the game? Good lord, man. There's links in the description to the Steam store pages and the PlayStation and stuff. Yeah, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I mean, people talk about it like it's the buggiest thing to ever exist, and it's certainly not that bad. Oops, I forgot Skyguards. Oh, god dang it. Derp. the super derp. Here, I thought. Oops, I gotta switch back to general. Burning strikes. I don't know, Daniel. I'll look here in a second. It's all cosmetic, Grizzle. Really, I mean, you can buy shards and stuff. I completely forgot the air. That about hits that on the head there, Nico. Just look through the ancient PowerPoints and decide how many points you want, Wilson. Nobody can really tell you. Nobody can really tell you when, you know, what's the right number for you. That's just something you have to decide. This full AFK setup right here. Yeah, sorry about that, Daniel. I forgot. Oh, Harry Earholes is on top of it. He got you covered. Let's see what these guys are selling. Yeah, I think these guys are safe. Sweet. I actually have a home for that right now, actually. Now that you mention it. Hypnotoad, actually, I was talking to yesterday, and he's doing some really interesting things with reflect beams. And I want to get a been looking for a tenacity for my reflect beams. So in there it would be. I wouldn't, Wilson. I think that is completely unsafe. That is no hero health at all. Dan, the symbol next to the names is the ancient power symbol. Quicksilver. Nico, thank you so much. Welcome to the Juicy Nation. What perks? It gives you a chat badge, custom emotes, And then it also, if you're in my Discord server, if you're in the Discord server, it will give you a custom role in Discord as well. I've re-rolled a bunch. Now, I haven't done it consecutively, though, Frag, so I'm not sure how it works. Well, you gotta live, Wilson. If you're not alive, you don't do any damage. What's the old saying? Dead heroes do no damage. So yeah, you gotta be able to stay alive. What heroes should you buy? It's up to you, really. I would just suggest going with a builder. If you do an exclamation next hero in chat, it'll give you a link to a Steam guide that Lightrayne put together that kind of goes over all the premium heroes and lets you kind of make an educated decision on what you want. What you want to do. For Monk, you want to go... Well, I mean, depending on how you like to play. If you want to play the Monk like I play the Monk, then you'll want to go full hero damage, hero health, and practice up your fourth hit. That big overhead swing, the last hit in the chain. You want to get the timing down on that. Well, that's the thing there, Stoyan. In WoW, if one of the main DPS guys dropped from the damage meter because they're dead, it's the healer's fault. Didn't you know? It's the healer's fault for not keeping them alive. Oh, I played WoW, man. I know those stories already. Anytime my mage died, it was the healer's fault. It certainly wasn't my fault. You'd have to be more specific than that. Most people are pretty excited with the current state of the Dryad, Mario. I mean, the Dryad, as far as I know, has nothing wrong with her other than the Harpies kind of having a buggy AI. Yeah, the Dryad's still a beast. No, nobody can decide that for you there, HK. You're either feeling it or you're not, man. I played a tank. I actually dabbled with being a healer. Back in the early Burning Crusades days, like I healed Karazhan a few times, back when Karazhan was difficult content. But it was just for complete lulz. I didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed either DPS or tanking way more. That's always been that. It's been that way for 6 months or so, Nika. Bees are supposed to be capped, where only 3 bees will attack one target. So, I mean, if you think the Dryad's broken because you're spamming bees everywhere and they're not attacking, that's not the broken Dryad, that's a broken build. So, I mean, that's just not what you do. I mean, I don't have any problems at all playing the Dryad currently. I think she's super strong. Now, the thing you're limited to in high Onslaught floors is what heroes do you have perfect setups for, because you get to a point where you really need it. And then you're limited as far as what your builds or what you can do. Like right now, for me to change anything... Let me see. Who was that, Matthias? For me to change something in... in one of my builds. It's the same game on all platforms. There's no difference between PS4 and PC as far as how characters react. We all get the updates at the same time. The only thing different between the games is PC has that beta test going for communities. Drad Games, thank you so much for subscribing. I would have to get like 40 C8 amps and 2,000, probably 2,000 relics. Guaranteed brick. One would not lure me in at all. Let's see, we want to replay that one again? Yeah, let's just go random. Yeah, the problem with Dryad is not the Dryad. The problem with Dryad is so many Dryad players got used to spamming bees everywhere. And that's not how you're supposed to do it. So, I mean, don't put 5 bees in a lane. Use something else. Use other defenses. Go 3 bees, 2 slimes. Whatever. Yeah, but I'm talking about as far as actual gameplay goes, Frag. I mean, obviously there's no chat box. You crowd control the lane, Raggy Baggy, or you can set defenses up behind it. Easiest way in my mind is just crowd control the lane, put stuns or slows in it. You can't stack anything over 99, Mario. You guys are acting like I don't know what I'm talking about. There is zero difference in gameplay between any of the consoles and the PC. We're all on the exact same update. You want to stack over 99, you have to buy the Vault. That's the only place you can do it. You can do that on all consoles. This ain't the first rodeo, folks. I got more hours on PS4 than half of the players out there. You guys forgetting I played PS4 for a year. Let's see, somebody's got some mana still. How do you level the mod slots? You can't level the mods. Got you games, you have to re-roll them. You can re-roll them through, say I wanted to re-roll this mod, and I'd open the interface up to it and go to the re-roll tab, and then just pick the mod you want to re-roll. And as you see, I'm out of the materials, so I would need more materials before I could re-roll it. Alright, these guys got it all built up already. I'm surprised people are going with LSAs with their water. Because it's just... It's too few... It's too few hits, in my opinion. I mean, LSAs are a wonderful thing, but you gotta have some AoE in there. Weapon mans don't do the damage. You can use them. I personally don't feel like they're necessary. But there's nothing wrong with them. There, Mixu. Boostaras are best used for slows, in my opinion. The Boostara slow combined with the Frostbite slow, when it's working properly, is ridiculously good. Right now, the Frostbite tower shuts off, though. Nah, it wasn't. It was in my vault, Mario. That's never been a thing. I mean, there literally is zero difference in the game. There's the chat, and there's the community features, and then just the basic controls. Console's got voice chat, PC doesn't. There you go, you guys are one up. Draenara. Oh, I've tried so many ways to make Draenara useful. You gotta switch it up, Tony. If you just grind it, you're gonna get burnt out on any game you play. Like last night, I put most of the night into that Eden Rising game. Tonight, I'm gonna start a new playthrough. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, though. I was thinking Stardew Valley. Or I might continue Graveyard Keeper. Just to get that all finished up. Oh, I turned that stuff off, Daniel. I hear you. Anytime I have ever gone into town on console, I have always muted the volume. Always. It was like instinct. Where's the mute button? There's no way to effectively farm them. They're got you games, but you get you have a chance of getting defender packs from Onslaught victory chests. So if you just do Onslaught, you could technically farm them. Weak points is only good if you're headshotting there, Reggie, or hitting roller butts. Weak points is not a general use mod setup. So, sounds to me like you've got kind of wasted mod slots is probably the problem. Yeah, Light's been grinding out that Banner Saga. That's a great game. I played 1 and 2. I haven't played 3. But yeah, Banner Saga 3 now. Yeah, Mastery and Onslaught's got those guaranteed milestones. I'm not ready to discuss reflect beams yet, Stoyan. I haven't mastered the art. I've got to spend a little quality time with Hypnotoad. So I don't want to say anything that's not true, but reflect beams have always been really good, and they can be used in a lot more places than people think they can. I'll just leave it at that. I haven't, like I said, I haven't mastered the art yet, so Hypnotoad's going to show me the way. How do you get into one of the communities? Currently, just to give you guys a heads up, currently there's zero benefit to being in communities. They're extremely buggy. There's a reason they put it out in beta on PC first. At least 50% of the time they don't even work. But all you have to do is, first off, they only hold 30 people, so they're filling up really, really quick. You just have to be in the same instance as me and tell me which one you want to be in. I don't know enough to be able to explain things there, Stoyan. I just know that you can use them more than what you think you can. I mean, obviously, you can spam reflect beams down a lane and get good damage out of them. You can use them to cover your walls, stuff like that, but you can also use them in other ways. Like, you know, one, for example, say you got a big flyer lane that's giving you a hard time, and it's all Draken and lightning bugs. Or, not Draken, all wyverns and lightning bugs. Use a reflect beam around the core. No other anti-air required. Because, remember, those are ranged mobs. They shoot a ranged projectile. So, reflect beams will completely block them. What's going on there, Shadow? Question mark, question mark. You should push before you do your first reset there, Eric. The main thing is you just want to get to a comfortable minimum ascension. You want to be over 250. Yeah, you can place them if you have a perfect tenacity and it's Chaos 8, but that's going up to the point where there's few players that are going to be able to do that. But if you have a 10 out of 10 tenacity and you upgrade it to Chaos 8, so it's 100%, you can use it to block cyborgs. The cyborg, say you've got a reflect beam right here in front of this stuff, the cyborg will go for the reflect beam and it will reflect back and not hit any of this stuff. But you have to have a perfect Chaos 8 tenacity. Exclamation nuke there, Raggy Baggy. I do not. Shadow. I do not have it. Yeah, if you upgrade something to Chaos 8 and you do Ancient Power, it goes back. Which is unfortunate, but, you know, what can you do? Yeah, but do you need minimum Ascension of 1,000 is the question there, Daniel. Is what you got to ask yourself. So that's very true. That's a very true statement from Show. The question is, do you need 1,000 minimum Ascension? As far as completing the maps very easily, you're not going to see any difference between having 300 or 400 minimum Ascension and 1,000. It's going to be very little difference. Once you get the main aspects, you know, your crit damage, your crit chance, your defense rate, once you get all that in place, the rest of it you're getting minimal benefit from. So, I mean, you can do that. What you need to do with Ancient Power is you need to ask yourself how many resets you want. You know, how many of those Ancient Power points do you want to spend? Because if you grind all the way up to floor 114, you could be going way past the point you need to be at for no reason. Now, if you're having fun doing it, then that's your reason. So by all means, put fun over top of everything else. But there's just no real reason to push to 1,000 Ascension. 1,000 minimum is the deal. You know, say you plan on... Now, if you only plan on getting 10 Ancient Power resets or whatever, then yeah, you're going to want to push to 1,000 first. That way you're getting the maximum amount of minimum Ascension each time you reset. But if you're planning on getting 40, 30, 40, 50 points, there's no reason to go that high at all on your first one. So, I mean, it's really, each person would be different. It depends on what you want to do. If you want the AP points and you want a lot of them, don't bother pushing. Go up to floor 50, 60, 70, whatever, and call it good. Yeah, I usually stream on YouTube, Warland, but I do stream on Twitch as well. My main stream every day at noon Pacific time is always on YouTube except for Friday. So, yep, that is correct. I would completely agree with that, Brick. If they implemented that, I would do more Ancient Power resets. It's got diminishing returns on it. So the first freeze will last 4 seconds. The second freeze will last not as long. The freeze usually gets broken by other sources of damage. Remember, the freeze can be broken. So if you hit it, each time that mob gets hit that's frozen, there's a chance the freeze is going to break. Well, the thing is, Eric, is you only get 990. This is the reason you do it. Okay, your minimum Ascension divided by 50 is how many base Ascension cap points you're going to get each time. But there's only 999 of them. So you don't need to get, if you plan on resetting 40 times, you don't need to be getting 50 or 60 added to your caps each time you reset. Or you're just wasting your time. A lot of people are not grasping that, and you see a lot of people that don't want the points, that only want to reset 8 times or 10 times or 12 times or whatever. Those people are the ones suggesting to go real high. But if you want more, it's all about how many points you want, 100%. If you want more points, there is zero reason to go that high. Now, I mean, what Sho said was giving you an example of what it would take to get 1,000 minimum Ascension. He wasn't saying you needed 1,000 minimum Ascension. Exclamation nuke in chat. The type of armor you use doesn't matter. It's all about the stats. It's not like DD1 where you wanted to get a warrior set or a warlock set or whatever. You can use whatever you want. As long as it's got the right stat on it, that's all you need. And right now we've only got one stat on things, so... Or one stat that changes anyway. And I had high hopes for that stack of loot. No, the thing with freeze is it's on a different rotation cycle. Not the proton beam freeze, but the created freeze from frost damage is on a different diminishing return, so you can stack them. Is the benefit. So if you're using the electrocute combo through like Weapon Man's, and you've got a hero firing into it, freezing it, they're on different sets of diminishing returns. So the real benefit is stacking them. As far as effectiveness, they're equally as effective. I mean, they're both the same, you know. Do I think you should start using Dryad? I think you should start using whatever one you think is the most fun there, Queen. I mean, I'm on floor 270 something, 280, whatever I'm at, and I don't use the Dryad at all. So the Dryad's not needed. If you like playing the Dryad, you should use the Dryad, is the general, you know. I did it 42 times. When I did it, it was an entirely different program, though. When I did it, it was a time grind. Now you keep pushing higher and higher Onslaught floors, which now it's start to finish, it's way, 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 way easier. Yup, you got to go to floor 80 once you get into the high floors, but you know what? Once you've done it that many times, going to floor 80 is a piece of cake. See, I'm using all older gear because my heroes were all squared away before they switched to the new program. So I've got all kinds of mixed stuff on. The name on the gear means nothing. So just look at your stats. You're going to want to look at the stat anyway to see how close it is to the max roll. On the barb, you should be using both. You should have water on one weapon, you should have frost on the other weapon, and you've already got the storm damage just from your stances. So on the barbarian, you should be stacking both of them. Oh, that's a beast combo, no doubt. I'm just really, really hoping. The problem I have this week is the sword and bow are not the weapons I'm really interested in. So I'm just really hoping that next week we get something that I want, you know. Yeah, it means the items at the scavenger, you have to look at it in your tavern there, Daniel. It's usually from a flyer dying and the loot dropping off the map. Is where that usually happens. But basically, if something drops somewhere that's unobtainable, or somewhere where there's like no floor, then the item will go to the scavenger. You definitely want to save up some. There's not really a suggested amount of gold. I mean, you want to have some gold. The first time is actually insanely easy now. It's not like it was before. 5 million's more than enough to do an Ancient Power reset. But you're gonna spend it all. You don't upgrade your hyper shards back up. They cost too much. Especially on your early resets. Your first reset nowadays, for someone who just brand new just resets, is literally going to take you like 2 hours total, and you'll be ready to reset again. So don't go spending a bunch of gold on something that's only going to take you 2 hours to do. That just doesn't make sense. You have to be the leader of the group there, Impo. It's broken right now. Trendy's aware of it. They said that the community patch bugged it out. Yeah, I mean, you can easily do that. Well, you just don't do it, Wilson, is the thing. You're just throwing gold away. You don't need to upgrade any of that stuff. The only time that you might want to consider any of that is when you get to the point where you have to go floor 50 to 80. But like my last... I went from 1 to 15, and then I took a break. And I didn't do any more resets for a couple of months. And then I went from 15 to 42. When I went from 15 to 42, I actually gained about 150 million gold. But I didn't upgrade a single hyper shard. I didn't upgrade anything on heroes except speed. Just the boot shard, that's it. So just no other upgrades anywhere. And you end up making gold because you just don't need the stuff. You know, use upgrade 1. Like if you want it to be super easy mode AFK the whole time, then save up the materials to upgrade 1 relic. And whatever your favorite defense is, use that defense. You know, like when I did it, I used poison dart towers. Nowadays, a lot of people are doing it with weapon manufacturers. Yeah, you need 11 total. You need the shard you're gilding, and then 10 more of the same type. There's quite a bit of it on my channel already, Nika. There's actually all of them were live streams. Chaos 7 Mastery, when it first released, it came on... It was like Thanksgiving weekend, so I didn't live stream that one. Yeah, you just don't need mass destruction to do an Ancient Power reset. You don't need Vicious Strikes. You don't need any of those. So don't go dropping 2 million, 3 million gold. You know, you could easily drop 10 million gold upgrading just random stuff and not even think about it. Just don't do that. I mean, literally, when I would do a reset, I would upgrade 1 relic all the way up. Or not all the way up to Chaos 8, but I'd upgrade 1 relic up to Chaos 7. That is all the gold I would spend. Then as far as the hero, I would leave all of their shards as is, and I would upgrade 1 shard, and that was speed boost. And now I got speed boost gilded, so I don't even need to do that. That is literally the only things I would upgrade when I would do resets. That's up to you, Queen. I mean, I personally wouldn't reset with only 2 million gold. But that's your call. No one can make that decision for you. You're in a position where you could reset if you wanted to, and it would be fine. But realize that just to upgrade, if you're going to go with the upgrade 1 relic route, just to upgrade that 1 relic, your gold will be gone. There's no links, Brick. Mastery mode now is a joke. So just read the thing. Fire chip doesn't do anything, Jello, as you see. Burning strikes. Or you can, if you use fire chip, run around on a huntress and oil him first. There's only 5 a month that are going to be given out chaos, so they're going to be pretty hot items. Yeah, see, you did 4 Ancient Power yesterday. Yeah, people are crying about how Ancient Power is so much harder now. Having the time to do Ancient Power is the hardest challenge. You did 4 resets yesterday. My very first reset took me legitimately 22 hours. And at the time, that was considered one of the fastest resets done. 22 hours for one reset. There's no comparison to the old system versus the new system. The new system is just ungodly quicker. At the very end, you got to go to floor 80, but you don't have to hit that for a long time. I'd love to play Betsy on Chaos 7. I would have a blast with that, that's for sure. For this, I'm way overpowered for this. I'm doing Chaos 7 and Chaos 8 gear. That's considerably overpowered. That's like doing Chaos 1 and Chaos 2 gear. It turns it into a joke, but that's the farm, you know. You're not supposed, as far as just grinding and min-maxing, it's not hard. It's just a time commitment. Yeah, if you take one relic to C7, it's a C7 relic. It doesn't matter where you play. If I go and play Chaos 1 right now, it's still Chaos 8 equipment, you know? That's the same thing I did, John. I used PDTs, and then I played actively on the EV2, and I would swap in and out my Shocking Revelations relic. No matter what the quality. I didn't care if it was good or not. Just whatever Shocking Revelations relic I got from the next tier, I put on. And then I had one good set of PDTs. That's completely the way to do it as far as saving gold goes. You don't have to upgrade a bunch of stuff, you know. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. And it's a big gold sink. Nah, it's just a cosmetic bell. It doesn't shoot. I don't really have a health record there, Lucas. I've never kept track of it. The Barbarian would be the highest health, if that's what you're asking. Is Huntress good for DPS? Huntress isn't good for DPS, but Huntress is doable for DPS. It's plenty. It's all you need. It's not the top, anywhere near it. But it's more than sufficient, if that's your question. PDTs are one of the strongest tower type defenses in the game. Hits as hard as a cannonball tower, or hits for as much DPS as a cannonball tower and hits 3 targets. I mean, that's just good stuff. I don't plan on ever resetting again currently, Eric, but I'm hoping with Elandrian taking over design of the game, Elandrian and Javahawk, I'm hoping they give us some reasons to do more resets. Now, the Monk is currently the highest DPS in the game there, Wilson. The EV2 is not near the top. The Monk is higher than the EV2, the Dryad is higher than the EV2, Barbarian's higher than the EV2. Don't get me wrong, I love me some EV2, but that's not the highest DPS, but you don't need the highest DPS to play the game, that's the thing. You should play the game for fun, not for stats. You're not trying to kill the target dummy in town. A lot of players are, but that doesn't affect your actual gameplay any. Being able to kill the target dummy does 0 for you. As soon as they give more rewards for mastery there, man. I've already done mastery. It's all on my channel. And it was 1,000 times harder than what it is now. We didn't have mods then. So I did mastery with no mods. So if you want to see a challenge, go look at the mastery that people did when it first came out. Because mastery now didn't get scaled. So there's no scaling at all for mods. Ooh, I got an excuse. I got a ballista excuse, folks. What do I got? 300? That's 5 of them. That's gonna hit all kinds of rails and whatnot, but whatever. Good enough. Let's see, we'll beast mode the middle lane. Yeah, killing the target dummy would be those players that say, look at me, I can do so much damage, but then never actually progress and do any of the content. So then you're just trying to kill the target dummy and swing your E-peen around in town when you actually don't even play the end game content. So that's kind of what I refer to with that. Being able to do the most to the target dummy does not win you the game. And there's a lot of people like that, and whatever, that's the game for them. So if that's the game for you, then that's fine too, you know? You gotta have fun. If your idea of fun is talking about how great you are in town and saying, look at me on the target dummy, then that's the game for you. That's just not the game for me. Bags are filling. These ballistas didn't get any work in, did they? 0 damage. 27 million. This one actually did more than any of them. That's weird. 0 damage. These are some effective ballistas here, let me tell you. Bees are great. Nothing wrong with bees at all. It's just you don't use just bees. That's the problem with bees, is when you try to use just bees. If you use just anything, like just one of anything, you're nerfing yourself. So, I mean, combine your bees with something else. You know bees are single target, right? So add some AoE in. So why not use bees and a flame aura? You know, or bees and a slime, or bees and anything else that's going to hit more than one target. For just about every lane, you want a balance of single target and AoE damage. Like if we look at this lane, I got the flame aura to burn the pack. I got the lightning strike aura that's specialized towards lady orcs. So it's wrecking lady orcs. It's got anti-orc, or actually it doesn't have anti-orc now, I changed it. It used to have anti-orc, anti-chaos, and anti-melee. So the lightning strike auras were specialized for killing lady orcs. So the pack comes out, all gets burned up by the flame aura. The orcs and bigger mobs make it through, and the lightning strike aura kills them. They'll always be bees to me. Dims is bees. Just ask Nicolas Cage. Ignite doesn't do any damage, y'all. Ignite is bad. Don't try to do Ignite builds. Although it does look insanely cool, it does little to nothing. Until Ignite has not been updated yet. It hasn't been gone through with the new system. So don't build for Ignite right now. Right now we've got two working combos in the new system. We've got the water drenching, allowing you to easily do the electrocute combo. And then we've got the new combo, freeze, which is frost and drench. That's the only two combos that are in the game right now that are effective. So the other combos, don't even think about them. I mean, you have to use the Ignite on the Drakenlord, but you can do that with just a hero or just a Burning Strike shard. So it's not something you have to build for. That'd be interesting, Jamal. I know there's going to be some changes to Ancient Power. Elandrian and Javahawk will do some new things. It's just a matter of waiting to see what they do, you know? Ryu, thank you so much for subscribing. And I think I missed Cade and Drad Games. Thank you all as well. I do appreciate it. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I mean, sadly, we just have to wait. You know, I mean, right now, Trendy's on holiday break, so they won't be doing anything for a couple of weeks. And then after that, they'll start working on the new, whatever new stuff they have in mind. Yeah, if you're just going through resets, that'd be fine there, Bell. I mean, I wouldn't even do two. I would use one. Just upgrade one item and then use stuff that you find on the other defense. Oh, you know there will be lots of new heroes. Any free-to-play game is always going to have... Ooh, that almost went bad. Any free-to-play game is always going to have lots of heroes. It's just a matter of waiting for them all to come out, you know? Well, get more health or look at your placement, is what I would say. I mean, in the proper placement in Chaos 7, you can put a blockade down and not put any other defenses on that map. And it's going to win with automation. My guess is your placement is bad. If you're sticking it right in front of the spawn, it's going to die. Oh, my opinions on Onslaught gating is pretty well known there, Jamal. I think it's ruining Onslaught, is my opinion. I think that anybody should be able to play with anybody, and they should just get credit for their highest floor. So if I'm on floor 50 and Harry Earholes is on floor 200, I should be able to play with Harry Earholes, and then I'll get credit for floor 50 and he'll get credit for floor 200. That's my personal opinion. I think gating in Onslaught has ruined multiplayer in Onslaught, because you got to have a dedicated person to play with. If you don't have that dedicated person to play with, then someone on the team has to sacrifice and not get progression. And nobody wants that. Everybody wants progression, you know? Why would I want to go play floor 30 and not get anything out of it? You know, why would you want to go play floor 30 and not get anything out of it? Go through the inventory real quick here. So, I mean, I think it's a terrible thing, but, you know, I'm not the one designing the game, so I've got to play what they give me. Sadly for me, that has turned Onslaught into single player only, because I just don't have anyone available to play with when I want to play Onslaught. That's a lot of gear. There's got to be a 10 in here, right? What's that one? Nope. No good. Not on that page. No 10s, no 10s. What? Come on, 10s, where you hiding? What's going on there, Limited? Nope, that's that one. Let me put that aside here. You just hit enter. Every one of those little pop-up windows, something is auto-selected for you. Trap myself in. What is that, 170? That lane doesn't have any flyers. Oops, wrong button. I think we're good, right? When in doubt, more ballistas. There we go. We set now. You can't really farm for specific mods very effectively. Obsterix is like at 400 and some, floor 400 and something. Thinking he wants the high Onslaught group. It won't let me do it during the wave. No, nothing you can do for a better chance of defense rate. Just got to keep grinding on that Chaos 4. Nah, shards that no longer drop have been turned off, Eric, so they're unusable. So any of the older players that have them, they can't use them. I mean, you could use them, but they don't do anything. Let's going on there, Dust? How you doing? So, if any of you all had anything jump out at you on the Steam sale? And we got the newest member to Juicy Prime, Obsterix. Well, there's nothing wrong with more destruction. That's just RNG though, how it works, because if you're grinding C3, you're going to get more C3, you're going to get more C3 shard packs than anything. Do I speak Russian? No, I don't speak Russian. I can say bad words in about 20 languages, but Juicy Prime is the community for high Onslaught players, so the minimum floor to get into Juicy Prime is 150. You gotta be at floor 150. Sure, Trip. I personally put range on my fishers because they do have a great, very large range on them. Larger than a flame aura. So I always go range on my fishers, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys hear me speaking? I can barely speak my native language, more or less anything else. You just gotta do 6 more floors, Omni. That's all. How tough is it? Terminator'd be in there. He wasn't on the Xbox. I think we should start a petition to force Terminator over to PC to make him carry me around. What's going on, Marco? Yeah, it's a great game, no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, you can stack them closer if you don't put range on it, but you're missing out on the biggest benefit of fishers. Let's see, which one is Juicy Prime? There we go. Nictus wanting blackjack lessons. I can't teach you how to count cards while doing Onslaught, Nictus. I apologize, but it's just not a reality. I would probably guild one, Impo. If I had 15, I would guild one and then just limit myself to 5 defenses. You'd have the one gilded defense and then 4 non-gilded. I did 42. I'd like to do more and fill out the points, but there's just no real reward for doing it, and there's a big penalty for me doing it. And that is, I decided that this was it for Ancient Power, so I started upgrading stuff to Chaos 8. So, I mean, for me to, if I did an Ancient Power reset now, I mean, it would literally cost me like 1,000 hours of grind to get my Chaos 8 stuff back. And I don't want to do that, because the Chaos 8 stuff is more powerful. I gotta get Equam and Hypnotoad and some of these high Onslaught climbers into the group. People are saying it's floor 30, Kyle. There's a little confusing info. And that confusing info is the patch notes said they drop at floor 35. On the amp itself, the tooltip says floor 30. I personally haven't seen anything prior to floor 35, but other people are telling me they have, so I'm assuming the tooltip is correct, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, the patch notes say 35. I can't remember which one's which. Oh, jeez. I'll get it eventually. Yep. Too late. So, I mean, it's just hard to say. Usually the patch notes are correct and the tooltips are wrong. But it could be either way. It's either 30 or 35. But that's minimum chance of getting it, though. Whichever it is. So, I mean, your best bet for farming it is to climb some floors and then try to farm them. Ideally, you want to get past floor 83. 83 is where the chance to drop caps out. The higher you go, the better. But even when you're at the highest, it's still practically no chance of getting it. Oh my god. Cannot get this typing stuff figured out here today. This whole typing stuff is throwing me all off. And to think, there was a time where I could type 80 words a minute, or 100 plus words a minute. What am I saying? 80. There was once a time. Did I spam that lane yet? Yep, it is spammed. Let's see. It's not going to be very effective here, but I'm going to put it down here. Put it in the danger zone. The danger zone. Oops. High Ascension is the best way they're gaming. Lavamancer sucks, Marco. There, I said it. I came right out and said it. The Lavamancer is the most boring hero to play. The only effective way to play it is sit there and punch things over and over again. The Lavamancer is a great builder and the most boring DPS hero in the game. Oops. Peaky chiming in. That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, the only way to get lots of volcanoes is to have lots of Lavamancers. So, I mean, for novelty purpose, I back that 100%, by all means. Get you a crap load of Lavamancers and throw them volcanoes everywhere. There's 5 total per month. There will be one more giveaway this month for a flare that's not the one. There's a giveaway going right now on my channel. I think this might be the link. Let me see. I'm not sure if I updated it yet. Come on, Nightbot, you can do it. Nightbot is not working at the moment. Yeah, the nuke bunk is up to date. I'm using the last swing nuke bunk right now. The last hit nuke monk, I think the video is called. I changed away from the pet nuke just because it was becoming ineffective in the higher onslaught floors. There it is. That rate, there's 2 of these juicy flares going out in that giveaway right there, so make sure you're entered to win in that, because that's going to be 2 of them. And then besides those 2, there's only 1 more available for the month of December. And that will go out next Friday on Twitch. For the pet nuke, you just want one of the hero damage abilities. Which one you use doesn't matter now. As long as it's one of the big hero damage ones. You can use an earth pet and do rock toss. You can use a water pet and do snowball. You can use a cat and do Gatto fireworks. I mean, there's lots of options. That show. I don't think it'll work on YouTube, but let me see. See if it'll work. Doesn't look like that command will work. Show can be found at right there. He's actually coming up on 2,000 followers. So it'd be pretty awesome if you guys would show him some love. He is probably the most dedicated person to DD2 that there is. Besides myself, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I know who Muggs is, but I don't see him very often. I chat with him whenever I see him, it's just not very often. I'd want to get Muggs in there too, but like I said, it's a matter of running into him. Muggs doesn't, I don't think Muggs uses Discord, or he hasn't joined my Discord anyway. Equum and Hypnotoad and a lot of those guys that are pushing really hard are in my Discord, so it's easy for me to communicate with them. You didn't know who Show was? Show's the guy. He's actually in viewers, he's the second highest of the Casters Guild. He, that, and he puts a lot of time into the game. He does a lot of work with, I don't want to say anything that he wouldn't approve of me saying, but I can tell you that he does a lot of work with Trendy. I'll just say that. Show puts a lot of hours into DD2 that are not related to just playing the game. So, he streams it, obviously that's him playing the game, but besides when he's streaming, he does a lot of work for DD2. He helps all of us out. So Show's the guy. He's giving it away on Monday. Nice. Like I said, I do encourage everyone go over and give him a follow. Get him up over 2,000 followers. That would be absolutely incredible. Love that guy. He does the work that nobody else wants to do. If Trendy's got some weird bug that they can't figure out or something, Show would be the go-to guy for them, because he'll spend the time to figure it out and and get the reproduction steps dialed in so that the devs can figure out how to fix it. And he's easily probably the most knowledgeable person about the game. Show knows. Because Show is very fancy. Weapon manufacturers are an aura. You can always look at any defense and see what it is. Just to run up to it and inspect it. It'll say on it what it is. And some of them are not what you'd think. Or yeah, it's a node actually, that's right. It's not an aura anymore. It used to be an aura, now it's a node, since node was added in. Traps, auras, nodes, towers, and blockades. That's all the different types. Who'd we get there? Mr. Pickles. Frost Orcs will still freeze him. Luis. The Frost Orc aura is an aura around the orc itself. What Tenacity does is it gives you relief versus things that are thrown on the ground. So if anything attacks a actual tower and puts a debuff on a tower, crap, I just built the wrong thing. Yeah, I did. I wonder if I did the whole map like that. Now I'm gonna have to run around and look. Yup. God, man. The suck factor right here. See if I did it everywhere. Yeah, I did. The whole map. Holy crap, man. Just setting us up to fail. Literally the entire map. My God. Alright, I think we're good now. Well, the key there is one of two things. You don't have to use tenacity, Luis. If you get yourself up to the max range, so you can go with a range mod plus like a deadly strikes, and you can outrange the cyborgs. Or like was mentioned earlier, if you've got a Chaos 8 amp and you actually do have one 10 out of 10 tenacity, then you can throw it on a reflect beam and put it up front, and then cyborgs can't hit anything behind it. I do that every day. At least once every single day. Vicious Strikes is a pretty good shard, Jacob. You only have to get to 155 stars for it, so it's not like it's crazy out of reach. Well, yeah, the cyborgs hit the base of the aura, so like in this situation, they would be aiming for the stick. For the stick right there. Range, towers, and fire damage, Daniel. If you insist on using ground defenses against Frost Orcs, which Frost Orcs against ground defenses is just naturally a bad move. Thank you so much for subscribing, Daniel. However, you can outrange them. So if you go with some range mods and range shards, you can outrange the Frost Orcs and kill them before they get in range of your defense. So like right now, I got baby range on these Flame Auras because I'm stacking Destruction. But this isn't the defense I would use against Cyborgs. I would use something with bigger range. Or of course, just use Towers. Or Frost Orcs, pardon me. Or just use towers. If you use towers, then you're shooting them from over here, and it doesn't matter. So the key is frost damage. Well, there's no frost flyers there, Stoyar, so I mean, that would be like for complete novelty purposes if you wanted to knock them up. The percent modifiers are just a swing speed modifier. I did a long time ago. I don't anymore, Marco. It's been years and years and years. I mean, that would just be a complete novelty, Stoyan. Its effectiveness probably wouldn't be there. Just drop the price on it down under $1 million. Somebody will buy it. That would be an extreme rarity, Stoyan. Either that or he was trolling you. There's a good chance of either. There's no one that I'm aware of is using a build like that for Frostlands. Yeah, they will, Demon. We just have to wait for it. The weapons, the Frost Chip weapons are on a rotation each week. It'll be a different set of weapons. I guarantee you when the monk pole arm comes available, I will be grinding the crap out of that map. People are going to get so tired, they're going to be like, play a different map. Come on, Juice. Oh no, I'm not doing it. I'm playing that map 1,000,000 times. It's not anything to really worry about, Daniel. It's the percentage modifier is minimal. It makes little to no difference. The biggest difference in melee weapons is light, medium, or heavy. Just get the light, medium, or heavy weapon you want with the best stats on it that you want, and ignore the swing speed modifier, is my suggestion. Because it's like I said, it's practically no difference. It's into the milliseconds. So as far as DPS goes, you're not going to really see a difference. Well, it's easy to see if anybody's in the 300s, the leaderboards. You can see what floor everybody's on, what everyone's highest floor is, just looking at the leaderboards. I think the monk is going to be ridiculously good. I'm just praying that the weapon comes. I mean, I don't care what the weapon comes in. I'm going to do a monk build with that frost chip the second it comes out. But I'm really hoping the weapon comes heavy. But if it's medium or light, I'm going to use it anyway, just because that is just a beast mode build. That's going to be really, really good. Alright, Marco, take it easy. Thanks for swinging by, man. I do appreciate it. It's like 18,000 defense power. 1 Chaos 8 amp adds little, but if you max it, it takes 6 Chaos 8 amps to get something up to max Chaos 8. I want heavy for the nuke builds. The slower the weapon, the bigger the nuke. How do you farm gold? You do the highest level expedition that you can, the highest tier, and you go for win streaks. So you'll see on the victory screen here when it pops up. Maybe. I mean, he may have used it, but I doubt he's using it. I mean, he may have done it once for lulz. Anyway, you look at your win streak bonus. You see I'm getting 34,000 extra gold just from the win streak bonus. I'm getting 248,000 base on this map, and that's modified by my ancient power level. But you always want to go for win streak bonuses on the highest expedition tier you can do. Coming on, Jackstar. 2 million gold is really low, Timon. You would be out of gold really, really quick. You don't even need Thunderstruck there, Demon. Yeah, I mean, in that note, you don't even need Drenching Strikes if you're using water on a defense. Oop, I almost did it again. Look at me. Wrong monk. It's Wrong Monk Monday. And here it's not even Monday. Let's see. I think the minimum amount I personally would probably go with is maybe 10 mil. You just don't want to upgrade anything. You don't want to upgrade any of the expensive things, especially if you plan on doing them back to back. So don't upgrade any hyper shards. You know, don't. It's ideal to gild some of those valuable shards, like deadly strikes, destruction, defense rate. If you have one of each of those gilded, then that's 0 gold. You know, and you can just go right. Crap, man. Did I build these with the wrong one, too? No, those are the right one. Alright. Yeah, that's what everybody runs into that. They made it so that the minimum Ascension level is so easy to acquire now. You pass your current Ascension. My minimum Ascension is past my current right now, even at 3100. I think my minimum Ascension is probably like 32, something like that. 32, 33. Yeah, Gilded Shards don't get reset. It's either or situation, Demon. There's no wrong answer there. I personally went with range, but tenacity is a great one too. Oh, it happens all the time, Stoyan. All I gotta do is not pay attention, build with the wrong hero, or go AFK. I do it several times a week. Just how it happens, just how it works sometimes. More ballistas. Yeah, win streaks reset as soon as you leave. Win streaks is only from either continue or replaying the map or going to a random map. As soon as you leave and go back to town, your win streak is ended. Now, a little trick. You gotta have a friend though. Say your win streak gets interrupted by a disconnect. Don't log into the game. Don't log into Town or Tavern. Just restart the game. And then join a friend that's already in a map, and your win streak doesn't get interrupted. I personally use defense power, Con, but to be honest with you, with just 1 point, it's going to be such a small benefit that it doesn't even really matter. I went defense power first. You don't see any benefit from the points as you're resetting. You see the benefit once you get fully back up squared away. The only thing you'll notice every reset is your little logo changes. But that's literally like the only noticeable thing. Oh, it's to completely deck out a full array of heroes. It's hundreds and hundreds of hours, literally. Jacob, no doubt about it. I mean, I bet I've got 1,000 hours just into farming defense rate. Literally 1,000 hours. I mean, it's an absolutely absurd grind. I'm hoping one day maybe they add the ability to craft specific shards, but that's going to hit Trendy's bottom line as shard packs are purchased, you know, with cash. Yeah, it happens. I have definitely seen it. What hero do I think looks the coolest? Well, the Barbarian's gotten a lot of love with all those skins. The Barbarian's got some really nice costumes, for sure. Yeah, Dryad's extremely useful. C8 mods become campaign mods when you reset Azrael. You have to re-upgrade the item back to C8 to get it back to C8. It's one of the big challenges in the game. The C8 amps are so absurdly rare, considering it takes 6 of them just to do one piece. So just to do the 4 defenses and the 5 pieces of gear for one single hero, to get one hero all the way decked up out, it would take 54 Chaos 8 amps. Which I think anyone, even people who have been absurdly lucky, would say 54 is a pretty insane number of amps. I'm hoping that that gets modified somehow. They said in that latest post from Melandrian that that's 100% what Mark is working on, is different ways to get the loots that we need out to us. Yeah, that's how you fix it, Azrael. If you accidentally screw up one of your relics, you can fix it through an Ancient Power reset. That just defeats the whole purpose, though. See, the problem Trendy got into is, like, if you look at most prestige-type systems in most games, you lose everything. You reset to 0. But it's more rewarding to do so. So Trendy went with this mix and match, with it being extremely low rewards, but you don't lose all your stuff, and that's created kind of a mess. If they made it where that Ancient Power, where doing an Ancient Power reset was just, wow, you get so much power out of it, but you lose everything, it would be a lot more normal. See, Nictus knows C8 amps are a lie. Agreed. No blackjack lessons required, Nictus. 100% agreed. Every 10 floors, you get a prestige weapon up to floor 100. After floor 100, it's every 20 floors. Loots for days. Don't look like anything good in there, though. After you kill Betsy, Bipsy, you want to move on to adventure mode. Prestige weapons have a unique mod to them, Nico. Some of them are good, some of them are meh. Awesome, Metallic Core. Great to hear it. Thank you so much. No, you can't reroll. You can't reroll shot type. I wish you could. We could get some of those cool looking weapons and use them, you know. You like what one of the prestige weapons looks like, but you don't like the shot type, it makes it an unusable weapon. I would love to be able to reroll shot types. After adventure mode, then you want to start in either expeditions or onslaught, Bipsy. You'll find that the game really comes down to having 3 key shards: destruction, deadly strikes, and defense rate. You can get those through onslaught or expeditions. We got there life burn. Yeah, there's a lot of different mechanics in the game for sure. Alright, what do we got? We got us a little Siphon Sight D. Let's see, did I derp that one? Looks like I got the right guy. More ballistas. Two more. Let's put one up top. Yeah. I ruined my ramp. That one's way close range. Well, they're two separate, completely separate mods there, Tyson. One allows it to pierce through shields, the other gives it an explosion, so they both work. They do completely separate things, you know? Remember though, you don't have to actually upgrade the items. If you're just starting the game and you're progressing through, I would suggest that you actually don't do that until you learn a little bit more about the game, because you're going to get better items as you play. Upgrading them is the fastest way. Pretty much their story on. I've just been having fun with them. It's a nice variation from cannonballs for physical defense. But for me, as soon as I get the relic dialed in, the physical defense for me is going to be all about explosive traps. It's hard to say, Jack Star, because that would be all opinion. But, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm still playing it. If you only had 11, I would probably try to get a couple more, Jacob, personally. Because if you only have one defense rate shard, whether it's gilded or ungilded, you're basically only going to have one effective tower. So I would definitely try to get some more. They pierce through enemies. To pierce through geodes, they need the piercer servo. Piercer servo is really it's a go-to mod on any projectile tower. So if it's a tower that shoots an item through the air, you're going to want piercer servo. Unless there's just no geodes present. Like if you had a special setup that was for, you know, for like Omega waves only, where it's all bosses. Well, as long as there's no geode, then you don't need the piercer servo. Yeah, you can reroll a 10. It's just super rare. I don't have a specific number as far as the guarantee on it, although there is a guarantee eventually. I am assuming though that it's probably at about 300 rerolls. So after 300 rerolls, you would have a perfect tenacity. It needs more defense power there, Daniel. I mean, the key to every defense getting the power level up is more defense power. So if you have the first step is having the right shards. If you have the right shards, then it's just all about defense power. That, and remember that tooltips are not necessarily correct, so you want to check them yourself. Well, I mean, it depends on where he spawns there, Bilma. If he spawns inside of your defenses, then he'll just die before his shield comes up. Like, if the Drakenlord spawned and he spawned right here, he's just going to die and nobody's going to have to do anything. But if he spawned, say, you know, somewhere that gives him a chance to get his bubble up, then you're just going to have to take his bubble off. That's just how it is. Water elemental's turned off. It's actually obsolete now anyway because of the water shard. Or water mod. All you have to do is throw water on the defense and you don't need water elemental anymore. The benefit water elemental would bring is you could put it on like flamethrowers. And use it on a tower that doesn't have, or that already has an element tied to it. Depends on how many hours a day you're putting into it, Jacob. I mean, if you did it 2 hours a day, then yeah, that's absurdly fast. If you did it 10 hours a day, then, you know, maybe not as much. Put it on your flame arrows. I always used water elemental on walls. I used them on flamethrowers when Onslaught first came out. But I loved water elemental on walls, and now I can just put water elemental, or put the water mod right on walls and get the same benefit. My harpoons are not dialed in. I'm just kind of playing around with them, having fun. I used my cannonball relic, so it's got Piercer Servo, anti-orc, and anti-melee. That's definitely not a fine-tuned set. That's just what I've got on it. Like I said, I'm not trying to fine-tune it. I'm trying to have fun with it right now. Just letting them do their thing. Well, if you put water on a blockade, it gives the blockade ability to drench. And then, like, that hero spotlight I just did on the orc blockades, there's a shard that you can put on orcs called Electric Fingers that gives it storm damage. Well, if you put the water mod on it and use Electric Fingers, you're producing the electrocute combo just from your wall with nothing else required, which is pretty dang cool. Not going to work in super high Onslaught just because your walls will get destroyed. But it's definitely fun to play with. Embermount Flames is not, Daniel, it's not a good mod at all. The problem is all AoE defenses have a 10 target limit. They can't hit more than 10 targets at a time. And that Embermount Flames causes you to get to that limit quite frequently. You know, say you've got a fissure and you slammed it down at an enemy spawn, and 10 enemies went through it and lit on fire but didn't die yet. The fissure won't do any damage to any more enemies until those original 10 are dead. So that mod actually nerfs the fissure's ability quite a bit, because you can get to that 10 target limit really fast. No, there's currently no way to CC with your Flame Aura. But you CC with another defense, and then you throw the Flame Aura inside of it. And let the Flame Aura do the damage, and let the other defense do the CC. would be the smart thing to do. Like I use the crowd control from weapon manufacturers pretty heavily. So if you've got the weapon manufacturers providing the CC, and then you throw another defense in the mix to provide the crowd control, or pardon me, another defense to provide the damage. That's a pretty easy one, really. Their best part. All you got to do is use a bunch of heavy hitting single target defenses. Add something to affect controlled burn, like Poison Dart Tower, and don't put in a wall, so Vampiric never comes into play. If the Ogre doesn't have anything to hit, then Vampiric does nothing. Yeah, that stinks the way that works there, Zomboss, but when you unlock those other heroes, you'll already have costumes for them. You can look at it that way. It's the same can be said about shards and everything else. It sucks getting shards, cosmetics, anything for heroes you don't have. No, they drop in all tiers there, Scott. It's just to reroll, you know, to reroll a Chaos 6-1, you would want the shiny version. To reroll a Chaos 7 item, you'd want the pristine version. So they drop in all tiers, but then they'll only be able to reroll that level of item. Well, nobody's going to buy that. That's the problem with overpricing, is you screw yourself and it's stuck in your shop until you do an Ancient Power reset. Because nobody's going to pay $28 million for a C8 amp. The EV2 is really good. The Mystic's really good. You can do exclamation next hero in chat, and that will give you a link to Lightrayne's premium hero analysis. And that would that'll help you answer some of your questions you have about the heroes, really. That's what I really need to do a video on. I need to do a video going over Lightrayne's analysis. I wouldn't really recommend the auto-equip. Bipsy, you can use auto-equip to get used to going up, or to get just your highest champion score to unlock a tier. But remember, when you auto-equip, all it's going off of is champion score, so the item might have the wrong stats, you know? You know, say you're trying to build an ability power hero, and you auto-equip and it gives you a bunch of hero damage gear. Well, that's not going to help your ability power hero at all. So it'll make your champion score go up, but your effectiveness will actually go down. Now, I mean, as you're just getting started and just playing through the game, absolutely, go ahead and use it, why not? But as you learn more and more about the game, you'll find that your effectiveness will be much greater if you pick all of your items yourself to go on. Siege roller in the long lane. Come on out, little siege roller. The storm mod is shocking there, Jacob. There's not a shocking mod for Poison Dart Towers. There's only the storm mod. The only shocking mod out there is Shocking Revelations. That's for weapon manufacturers. When you open up your player tab, their flame, there's a button that says cosmetics. I can't do it right now because we're mid-wave, but I'll show you when we get the wave completed. Well, floor 27, you're not at the max C7 gear yet. But nothing in the game drops higher than Chaos 7, 6 of 10 upgrade levels, no matter where you're at. You can be on Onslaught floor 1000, and it's still going to drop C7, 6 of 10 upgrades. So that's the max that you can get to. I haven't gotten back onto Warframe yet, Azrael. I need to do that. In the double credits weekend, I'm being stupid by not grinding that. I should be, and I like doing index, so I mean I should be grinding out the index big time right now, but I haven't been because of DD2. Well, there is no cap on Ascension. You can go unlimited. You should never grind Ascension, though. You don't grind Ascension until you're completely done with everything. Once you're done with all your Ancient Power resets and everything, that's the time to grind Ascension. You should never grind Ascension for any other reason other than you're done with the game, basically. The problem with flamethrowers there, Scar, is expeditions. The natural counter to all tower type defenses in the game is the Cobalt Flyers. So it makes them unusable in Chaos 7, because the most effective way to do that would be to put them close to spawn. You can use it in Onslaught, though. You'd want to use defense rate, deadly strikes, and mark targets as your 3 shards. Mods don't matter. Since you're using it to marking, use any mod you got. Ancient Power resets are a prestige system, Horse Mask, and it's completely optional. So you don't have to ever do it at all. It's one of those, if you want to, go for it. You don't have to. If you want to, like, get to pushing as far as you can into super high Onslaught and really getting into endgame, then you'd want to consider Ancient Power resets. But it's a completely optional program. Between all the platforms and accounts, Leon, I probably got about 10,000 hours, something like that. Anyway, to equip cosmetics, if you open up your character sheet and just go to cosmetics here, and then it's the third tab over, flares. So you want to click flares, and then that will allow you to go through the various cosmetics. You know, say I wanted to change it up and put a shark fin, I could do that, or a wing, or whatever. I kind of like shows back flare on my monk, though, so I use it. See, Destruction at Max Gambit or Deadly Strikes. I'm using both. If you wanted to use Exploding Poison, then yeah, get rid of Deadly Strikes. It's only 500 range different. No, I don't have the last one, Azrael. The last Mastery Week was on Thanksgiving weekend. And I had family visiting, so, you know, family comes before gaming. So I didn't do the last week of the Mastery races. I've got the world first one, though, and that's all I was really going for. Omni and I got the world first for the Chaos 1, the very first Mastery Week. That was more of a headache than anything. It wasn't a fun experience. It was a straight up time grind. There was very little enjoyment in it, in my opinion. I mean, some of the maps were fun, but overall it just wasn't fun. I'm hoping Trendy doesn't go with more stuff like that in the future. I don't want to commit an entire day just to grinding, you know? Slow, you got the ultimate slow stack would be a Proton Beam, a Boostara with boosted Grasp shard in it, and a Frostbite Tower. That would be the ultimate slow setup. And then you would also have a chance to stun with your Proton Beam. Most people drop the 500 range. I personally don't use explosive poison anymore. Yeah, it's the juice bags flare there, Flame. Got 5 of them a month to give out. Sadly, it's only 5 per month. I was hoping it would be unlimited, but that wouldn't really be, it wouldn't be anything special if it was unlimited, you know. But Trendy's going to give all of the Casters Guild people 5 of their flares per month to give out. My Ballista, I'm just using a thrown together set. I've got the regular, got Destruction and Defense Rate, which are the normal shards. And then I'm using that Splody Harpoons, just for lols. The mods, it's a Cannonball Tower. It's a Cannonball Relic, so it's got my Cannonball mods on it. Got Anti-Melee, Anti-Orc, and Piercer Servo on it. You have to win one of the giveaways there, Flame. Like I said, there's only 5 a month available, so exclamation giveaway in chat will get you a link to the current giveaway that's running. Yeah, I used to back in the day, but then my gaming setup got moved to the living room. And I've got like a big TV behind me and stuff that would conflict with the camera, so I don't use it anymore. You just gotta catch me online there, Dark Soul. They're filling up pretty quick. Right now, there's not a big benefit to being in the communities, just so everybody knows. Just because you get into one of the Juicy Nation communities does not mean you're gonna have anybody to play with. Right now, it's just a chat function, that's it. It's still early. It's in beta. You know, it's still being tested, and it actually doesn't even work half the time. Literally, about 50% of the time, it's not working at all. I think it was like the day before yesterday, they were down for the entire day. They don't, you won't lose effectiveness of a money face, but there's no real benefit to doing it. The only time you're ever going to want to put Burning Strikes on is if either one, you have no other shard to put in that slot, or two, you've got the Drakenlord boss. That's the only time you want to use Burning Strikes. It's just not a super effective shard. It's not best in slot in any situation. So, I mean, it's not something you would want to use anyway. You want the freeze mod more. I mean, if you were going to do an optimal setup, then you'd want Drenching Strikes in your weapon, the freeze mod on your weapon, and then Beacon of the Storms shard in your gloves. And that would require no special hyper shards or anything. And then you can stack the Electrocute combo and the freeze combo on top of mobs. Well, I mean, the good thing is you can see when it's coming. You know, it's not a surprise. It's right there on the lane tags. I never look at the lane tags in Chaos 7 because it just doesn't matter to me. But you can look and see. I mean, to have optimal gameplay, you'd want to swap that out every wave. Yeah, hyper shards get reset, sadly, Azrael. That's one of the big things the big downers about that whole system. Hyper shards shouldn't get reset, in my opinion, but they do. So, since I'm not the game designer, I got no say. The best auto attack hero would probably be the EV2. As far as just focusing on just primary attack only. The problem is we gotta wait for the weapons. The Frost Shard, or the Frost mod, is on a weapon rotation. Every week, the Drakenfrost Keep map will drop a different set of weapons. And this, right now, it's Squire Huntress. So, of course, the Squire weapon also crosses over to the Dryad and the Barbarian. But you can't get a Monk weapon right now. You can't get an EV2 weapon right now. And you can't move that mod. So you have to wait for that week. I'm hoping it's next week. I mean, I mentioned it earlier in the stream. If, like, my dreams came true, next week it would be Monk EV2. If it's pole arms and canisters next week, I would be overjoyed. In fact, that'll be the next really big grind week I have, is when, if the Monk's polearm comes in and the EV2's canister come in, I'm going to be doing some really long grind streams, because I'm just going to be grinding the crap out of that map. It figures, why not stream it, you know? The Golden Dragolich pet is a gift directly from Trendy. There's no way to earn it. You can get one by joining the RPG group, being a productive RPG group member for a period of time, probably like a year, and getting yourself moved into the RQA group, and then being a productive member of the RQA group for a time. You could get one that way. That's the only way right now. So, I mean, if somebody really wanted a Golden Dragolich, they could get one, but it would take them over a year to get it. I mean, I personally wouldn't buy it. I would just go play the map. But, I mean, to some people, it would be worth it. If someone just wants it now, has gold, and doesn't want to grind, then sure, why not, you know? But, I mean, if you're playing the game, you might as well just play to get the stuff you want, and then it doesn't cost you anything. Nah, Golden Drago is a exclusive item, Ezreal. There's less than 10 of them in existence. I just am lucky enough to have one of them. It's a special gift from Trendy only. The Circus had, the table flipper, the that Gatto, the Thunder. The Dragolit or the Carnival had the original monthly mission rewards minus Drago. That Thundero, you can get you a golden Thundero. I wish that event would come back. That was one of the funnest events in the game, that Carnival event, and that map was just a beast. I would love, love, love to have the Carnival return, but Trendy has... Anytime anyone brings up the Carnival event, Trendy changes the subject. So, I mean, I don't think the Carnival event is going to return, to be honest. I think if it was going to return, it would have returned by now. Because it's been, what, 2 years? You did 120 maps and never got a bow? That's weird, because there's a guaranteed item as long as you're doing it in a group. As long as you have at least one other player in your group, it's guaranteed that you're going to get one of the drops every map. A lot of people do, Kappa. That was a really fun event. No, I don't use normal. When I use cannons, I'm using them for raw power. So I don't go with heavy cannonball. Heavy cannonball is more of a utility. It gives you a little bit of AoE damage, but it takes away from your single target damage. I'd be fine with that too, if they just add the map. The Carnival there was an old event back in early access of the game, like pre-alpha state. There was an in-game event that had a big carnival in town, and it had a special map tied to it. And you could run the map, and by winning the map, you got access to a victory wheel, like a big wheel that's popped up, and you'd spin the wheel, and it would give you an exclusive item, a special pet or a cosmetic. It was a super fun event, and it was a great map. I really wish Trendy would bring it back, but one of the problems with it is there was a gear wheel that you could buy. You could basically spin the gear wheel with gold, and you had the chance of getting a legendary item at max stats. You can't get them anymore. They're Shadow Man. I don't know, Aldo. I think those are long gone, sadly. Trendy hasn't done a weekend event in a long time now. I think it is, Tim. I think that's the biggest thing, is it's a Trendy feels like they ruined the game because of that gear wheel. Well, I can tell you, I've gotten a ton of those swords without ever having a Squire, Squire, Dryad, or Barbarian in my deck. Dragolich is the only pet that matters there, Sin. 7,500 Defender medals in Tavern from the Lieutenant. It's the best overall go-to pet in the game. It's an old thing, Shadow Man. It's from one of the original... It's called the Defense Council Flare set. Or the Defense Council Hero Skins. Or Tower Skin sets. You can't get them anymore. The Defense Council was the original adopters of the game, basically. I do too, Piptown. I got a whole stack of them. Of prize tickets. You can't do it on consoles, boss. It's one of the limitations of console versus PC. Oh, my RNG is way bad in every game I play. That is a known fact there, Stoyan. If I'm playing a game with Omni and it takes him 10 hours to get something, it will take me 100 hours, period. That's just how it works. What's going on, Tracy? How you doing? It's not as significant now, Scott, but back in the day it was. Back in the day, getting the best gear took a lot of grind and a lot of work. And you could just roll up with having one hero geared out. It was based off of your current... back then they called it item power. Now it's called champion score. But it was based off of your current item power. So you could go up to the wheel with one hero that was decked out with max item power. And sit there and spin the wheel over and over and over and over again. And get all of your heroes decked out. And it got a lot of... people either loved it or they hated it. One of the two. But there was enough people that hated it that Trendy never did it again. I mean, in my opinion, all they got to do is take that wheel out. Keep the rest of the event, but get rid of that wheel. I mean, the cosmetics you can get through Defender packs now. It would add those golden pets back in the game. The golden Thundero and the golden cat and the golden whatever. I don't even remember what they all were. I'd have to look through my bags and look at the pets to see them. Well, I mean, you're preaching to the choir there, Scott. Don't ask me. I want the event back. Ask Trendy. I got no say over it. I've been making comments to Trendy about it for like 2 years. Literally. Like 2 years. So, I mean... It's one of those sore spots that for some reason Trendy doesn't even want to talk about. It's a action tower defense game there, Tracy. You're looking at it. Now, the juicy flare, you guys talking in game chat, you can't get from Defender packs. Yeah, it's free to play. There's links in the description there, Tracy. Free to play on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC through Steam. Yeah, I mean, they could do that too. You know, keep the wheel and change the items. You know, have it drop. I mean, you remember all those little disposable masks, the temporary consumable item masks, all those came from the wheel. Yeah, Dragolich is Dragolich, Sin. It doesn't matter which one. They're all the same. The different types of Dragolich is just people got them from different places, but they all do the exact same thing. So that Terror Dragolich in town is just as good as this Golden Dragolich I got right here. It's exactly the same. The only difference is the cosmetic value of it. That would probably work on most lanes, Merlin. You might get overrun on some big frost lanes or something, but yeah, that would work on most lanes. If you're going up against frost lanes, you'd want to get some fire damage in the mix. Thanks there, Tracy. I appreciate it. There's exclamation Steam in chat if you're playing on PC. There's a lot of folks in my Steam group play it. Nah, it's the same amount of shards. You get more loot, more gear, but you don't get more shards or crafting materials or anything. That would be awesome if you got more shards. Nah, Skelly Boom's one of those mods where it's like, when you get it. There, Doug. Skelly Boom is the stinkeroo. Man, that is way too many Sky Guards. Keep forgetting I'm not an Onslaught. Let's do this instead. We got so much DU. Make it completely AFKable. You're not going to complete any Onslaught floor using one defense. That's just not smart. So, I mean, if that's what you're trying to do, that's why you're not winning. I mean, if you had any frost lanes, you're going to lose. If you had any armored lanes, you're going to lose. It's just not a smart build. Skelly Boom, Support Boom, and Fire. Well, the Fire's good at least. The problem with Fire is it's more about adding the element and not the quality of the element. Like having a Chaos 7 element versus a Chaos 8 element is only 350 defense power. It's like nothing. Now, incursions aren't a one-time thing. That's mastery mode. Incursions drop the special incursion weapons. You can grind that out, or you can buy them in town with defender medals. Defense speed. You got to get to the speed down at least close to the speed caps, or your tower gets nerfed. So, I mean, defense speed is the first thing you put your Ascension into, if that's what you're asking about. Defense speed is the stuff. Doesn't matter how hard it hits if it doesn't hit often enough, you know? Yeah, water is a great fit on slimes for sure. Then you could really mix it up and throw a storm on your bees. It makes you ineffective if you've got a, if you got a lane that needs physical damage. You lose your physical damage from your bees, but it gives you that electrocute combo. It's a great combo. If you're one of those players that insists on using only Dryad, it's a super good combo. The weapons are they're not that good. I mean, out of all of the weapons, other than if you just like the way they look, out of all the weapons, the only ones I could personally ever see really using would be like the Mega Shark, the Autumn Yow. I would use the Autumn Yow just for pure lulls. I mean, obviously I love Terraria. I would use the Autumn Yow 100% for that. But even like the Gunwitch weapon, I mean, the Controlled Burst weapon is just right there. A Controlled Burst 3 is just right there at the effectiveness level. If you're grinding C7, just spam Flame Auras. You don't need any of the others. They're king. C7's special enemy is Kobold Flyers. They've got no cyborgs, so you can just spam Flame Auras right in front of the lane. They're going to kill the Flyers, because the Flyers come out of the normal lane, and there's nothing to counter the auras. So, I mean, the easiest grind in C7 is literally spam Flame Auras. Expeditions and Onslaught are the same, Horseman. Horse Mask Man. They're lateral progression. You can do either one. Whichever is more fun to you is the way to do it. I mean, as far as gearing up, you're going to gear up. The ideal path, if you wanted to, the fastest way to get this Chaos 7 would be do Chaos 1 and 2 in Expeditions, then switch over to Onslaught, do Onslaught to floor 24. Once you get floor 24 done, you should be at that 5300 gear score, and that will allow you to switch back to Chaos 7, do one Chaos 7 map, and then you're there. You're at the end. You know, the one Chaos 7 map is going to unlock floor 28. So, I mean, as far as just going through the game and getting there the fastest, that would be the fastest way. But remember, your experience is going to vary depending on your knowledge of the game and what shards you get along the way. If you get Destruction and Deadly Strikes and Defense Rate right away, then consider yourself ungodly lucky, because those are the shards, you know. They're on the channel already, Merlin. Every defense that you see me using is in the Hero Spotlights playlist. So, exclamation spotlights in chat. The only one that's not there is the Ballista. And like I said, the Ballista I stole from my Cannonball Relic. Almost every defense in the game is there, though. Not all of them, but almost every defense. I'll throw it in there for y'all. That playlist right there is the one. But you can just look through that playlist and pick what you're looking for. You know, whether it's a DPS character, a Flame Aura, a Lightning Strike Aura, whatever. That was a little sketchy. That was less than optimal. That was just doing it to see if I could do it. It's... I don't know if I'd say better. They're both good. They both have their benefits. You can use either or, Brad. Really? I mean, I used cannonballs all the way up to now. The only reason I'm switching to ballistas is because so many people said, why do you never use ballistas? So I said, okay, fine, I give in. The reason why I've never used ballistas is because I'm a big fan of DD1, and ballistas in DD1 kicked ass. And in DD2, they're just not as good. That's why, up until recently, you never see me using ballistas. but it's a product of people saying, how come you never use ballistas, is why I'm using them over the last couple days. To be 100% honest with y'all. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's in a group or not. It's mastery is all about completing the challenge. It doesn't matter who's in charge of the group. Destruction shard right here? Nope. That's a usable shard though. I'm actually looking to gild a couple more of those, so I will keep that one. Sell this other riffraff. The riffraff. My phone's beeping at me. The Long Dark, man. That is the most... Hinterland Studios is the most active game developer on Twitter I have ever seen in my life. Those guys post like 50 Twitter messages a day. Here it is. Destruction, destruction, destruction. It's not destruction. See, y'all, the same thing happens to me. I don't get the shards I want either. Ugh. Where's my 10 out of 10? Well, your towers will never go off due to cyborgs. Towers are unaffected by cyborgs. You can either use tower-type defenses, which are unaffected by cyborgs, or you can use the tenacity shard. That's your two choices. That might be a keeper. Inventory is a complete train wreck right now, Twiz. The main thing I would suggest is keeping your crafting materials in a separate tab, because you don't want to accidentally sell any of those. Crafting materials are considered consumable items, so you'd want to make sure you've got auto collect selected. Check both of these boxes to get everything, and then here only select consumables. And then it will put all your crafting materials in one bag. Is really the main thing I personally suggest. Oh, stuck on a rail. I would negotiate a price on that one up front, Zomboss, because if you're finding somebody really wanting to fine-tune their defenses, that will be an item that they're looking for. So I wouldn't just put that on the market and let somebody randomly buy it. I would find a buyer prior and negotiate a price. The DD2 Discord has a market set up. You can put it in there and just put accepting offers or whatever. Assuming it's an anti-orc servo. If it's an anti-orc for a weapon, then it's not really worth much. You can solo C7 at probably about 75 Ascension. There, King. Doesn't take very much. I think 75 is probably about the lowest you could be. Nah, the Dragon Stance shard is... the whole point of the nuke monk is the only time you go into melee range is to do your nuke. So you're eliminating a lot of the damage you would take. You've got the one big nuke, you run in and do it, and you run back out. You don't do both. So the dragon, it makes the dragon stance kind of unneeded. That and your right click is just not hitting it as hard, you know? So you're not getting the benefit from it. What's the most powerful shard? I'd probably say the most powerful shard is defense rate. Off the top of my head. Defense rate is a extremely powerful shard. The problem is getting the champion score unlocked before you just naturally progress higher. I mean, when I did it, I completely skipped adventure mode, and it still took me to, I don't remember what I was at. You'd have to look at that pirate playthrough. Completely skipping adventure mode and being completely painful. Anyway, just getting it depends on your luck, you know. Can you get the champion score required to unlock Chaos 7 prior to getting 5300 gear score? That's the challenge. It's not being able to complete Chaos 7, because being able to complete Chaos 7, in my opinion, is easier than being able to complete Chaos 6 your first time. That's an old video there. Best part, then range on trees were nerfed. I don't remember what the cap is. It's on Lightrayne spreadsheet. But to get to the cap on trees, you need like a Deadly Strikes and Vicious Strikes. You may be able to use Deadly Strikes in a mod. I'm not positive though. But yeah, tree range got nerfed big time. It's not really a big grind there, piece, to get it. If you play actively on the EV2, just go play a couple of maps. You're going to have it. So there's no grind required. What are my PC specs? I'm using a overclocked 7700K. It's clocked at 5.4 gigahertz. I got 32 gigs of RAM. 1070 graphics card. I use AverMedia's game capture for when I'm playing on the Xbox or PS4. You can't turn pets gold, Sean. You have to get a golden pet. There's no difference for them between them though. It's just a vanity thing. So a golden pet is exactly the same of that regular pet of that type. That number means nothing there, King, really. Champion score is only used for progression to unlock the various chaos tiers. It's not a reflection of how strong you are. So you see someone with a high champion score, it really means absolutely nothing. I mean, you could have a really high champion score and have the wrong gear or the wrong stats and be doing less damage than someone with a really low champion score. And it doesn't take relics into consideration. So yeah, the champ score it's used for gating, just getting through and unlocking the next tier. But it really is meaningless once you get Chaos 7 unlocked. There it is. It actually didn't come for 2 streams, this song. Yes, people, the song is a joke. I put it on just to see how many times it would come up out of 300. There's 300 songs on this playlist. On a normal live stream, it might go through 40 of the songs. And this song came every single stream. The last like 2 or 3 streams, it hasn't come up though. I mean, getting to Chaos 7 is the very start of the game, King, so there's not... I mean, that's not really something to judge. The main thing is, are you having fun? If you're having fun, then you're doing it right. That's the only factor you should take into consideration as far as getting up to Chaos 7. If you're having a good time, then you're doing the right thing. Nah, the Onslaught floor requirements are set there, Sean. Depending on which Ancient Power reset you do, that's the floor requirements you get. Every time you reset it will go up. What, can you not hear the song there, Jesper? Yeah, there's music playing. I think the only way is going to be to restart the game there, Best Pirate. Yeah, the Poison Dart Tower is the direct counter for Controlled Burn, Daniel. Works like a charm. No special shards or mods or anything required. As long as you have the... As long as you have the enemy countered. The problem with Christmas music is most of it's copyrighted. So I don't have permission to use it legally. I don't have my apprentice set up right now, Bipsy. I'm just about at the end of the stream anyway. Every day, Suffy. I get bored with the game every day, and I play something different. But the next day, I'm usually good to go again. Well, I mean, if the game is froze up, the game is froze up. I don't really have an answer for you. I'm not tech support. Contact Trendy. I don't know what will fix it. You asked me, that's my answer. I mean, it's what I would do if my game froze up, is restart the game. I mean, there's no other choice, right? Oh, nice. We got a good map for the end, too. Make this the last one here. Yeah, I mean, if there's a lot of mobs in the lane, then add another PDT is the answer to that. Exclamation WM in chat there, Zomboss. There's a new Weapon Man build too that I did. If you do exclamation spotlights, you'll see all the playlists there. All of the current playlists. So the one I'm using right now is the newest build on that playlist. Well, the game is buggy, Pirate. We all know it. That's no secret. DD2 has got bugs. So don't let that bug you. You got to deal with it. Or play something different. You know, I mean, that's the options. I think we good, right? What's going on there, Salem? How you doing? got around to the thingy. I'm not sure what thingy you're talking about, Omni. No, high Onslaught floors does raise minimum ascension. Every Onslaught floor you push up past your highest floor raises your minimum ascension by 12. The Weapon Man thingy. Oh, I did the video. I haven't put a bot command for it yet. Burning Strikes, I think, is in Chaos 5, maybe? I'm not sure. I'd have to look. Not really there. Louis? How'd the wedding go? Friend or family? This is actually the last map. You're coming in late. You're coming in late. I'm debating on whether or not to stream on Twitch tonight. I kind of want to grind out some credits in Warframe, and I can't really stream Warframe right now because of the mic issue. Yeah, it's every 10 floors up to floor 100, Shansky. And then every 20 floors after that. My minimum ascension's higher than that, so yeah. It's like 3,400 or 3,300 or something like that. You gotta come to the later streams. There's Salem. I'll probably stream on Twitch. I mean, there'll probably be more DD2 today. I just don't know what I'm gonna do yet. What I should do is go grind credits in Warframe because it's double credits weekend. And passing up on that is silly. Nah, the requirement... The highest the requirement will go is at 30 ancient power resets. You have to go from floor 50 to 80. That's as high as it goes, though. Once you get to that point, it's locked. It never goes any higher. Yeah, it'll never go down. Omni wants them carries. You guys are resetting again, aren't you? Did you get some easy ones there? Get some easy ones there, Term? Oh, it's just you? Oh, dang. That is a really lucky setup. If you're going to try to reset the full 70 times, Sean, your first time, get yourself up over above 250 minimum ascension and just start resetting. If you push any higher than that, you're not adding a lot of value, and you are increasing the overall time that you're going to have to put into it, but you're not adding a lot of value in having the higher minimum ascension. So if you're going to reset 70 times, just start spamming resets. The Drakenfrost map can get more difficult as you get to once you get into the 50 to 80 range. It'll be more difficult, but at first it's easy mode. All you need is Burning Strikes. If you got the Burning Strike shard, the Drakenfrost map is like a no-brainer. You can just literally stand in the very middle of the map, up on that tree or whatever it is, and just shoot around. And not do anything else. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. The thing is you can't AFK it anymore. I mean, you can if you have 100% C8 tenacities, but nobody having resets has those. Unless they're insane. But if you have Burning Strikes, then just stand in the middle of the map and spray around at the braziers and you win. Burning Strikes is a shard that gives a chance of igniting. I'm using it right now, just out of pure laziness. Alright, we're going to get a golden ingot to close out the stream. Give me the ingot. What the heck? No ingot? Oh, there it is. You know there's going to be something good in there. Alright, Stoyan, have a good one, man. Thanks for swinging by. What do we got? What do we got? No 10 out of 10. What can you do? Yeah, my Burning Strikes is Gilded, but you don't need a Burning Strikes Gilded. The reason mine is doing it so fast is because every time I attack, there's 5 chances of it going off. So you just want a multi-projectile weapon, and then it's going to proc constantly. Too many there, King. Too many would be the right answer. Anyway, everybody, that is going to do it for today, though. Thank you all so much. Like I said, I'm not positive yet. I will probably go live on Twitch in about an hour, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to get myself a little lunch and kind of think about it. I'll post it up on Twitter, in Discord, and on the community channel here if I do go live over on the Twitches. So just check one of those various places. But anyway, thank you all an absolute ton for swinging by. I do appreciate y'all a ton. And let me see. Let's see, we can look real quick. Yeah, it's 20%. What is a regular one? I don't think I have a regular one on me. Or do I? Yeah, it's 20%. So yeah, the chance doesn't go up. It's about the projectiles. You see the monk's got 5 projectiles, so that's 5 chances to proc Burning Strikes. So if you have multiple projectiles, you're giving yourself multiple chances to proc it, is all it is. Anyway, thanks a ton all. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. My stream schedule will probably be a little bit different next week with Christmas. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I'll keep everybody posted. But thank you all an absolute ton, and I will see you soon. Take it easy.